So thank you for being on the podcast. Everything is live, by the way. You're welcome to
Everything is live?
We're live, like recording live.
Okay.
You're welcome to use headphones. You don't have to, but that's just de lujo.
Oh, do you use headphones?
It's up to you. You don't really need them.
We don't need them.
No, you're good. So first of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the trip.
Thank you for having me. I've never done a podcast before.
Really? Good. I'm glad I could be the first person to do a podcast with you.
But I've always been interested.
Okay. What's your interest in podcasts?
I like to talk.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I do on social media too. Is someone on TikTok Live was like that my specialty is hablar y bla. And I was like, wait, that's so true. So when people ask me what do I do, I'm like, hablar y bla.
Yep. That's a very Dominican thing. Yep. Specific. So tell us about yourself. I can introduce you, but I'd rather you tell me who you are, what makes you you.
Mm-hmm. Where do I begin? Like, what do you mean?
Like, if someone was asking Geselle, describe yourself.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
There's like so many, like, I don't even know where to begin, but I'm a content creator. Wait, ask me that question again.
If someone were to ask you to tell me, let's rephrase it. Let's make it even more interesting. If your dad were to describe, because I saw your dad made your dress. I think that's the most adorable thing in the world, that you really cared and stepped into that. If he had to describe you to a friend, what would he say it to them?
That is such a hard question for me to answer, because I just feel like I do so many things and I am so many things. But professionally, I work in social media content managing for a beauty company. And then I also make content.
Okay.
So when I was young, I did a little Cinderella. I was like in the 3rd grade. I did like the elementary school musical, and I was in Cinderella, and everyone was like to my mom, and I think the evil stepmom, like I was not Cinderella. And yeah, everyone told my mom, oh my gosh, you did so good, like I ate that role up. And my oldest sister was like, we need to put her in acting classes immediately. So in the like around 3rd, 4th grade, I was doing acting classes, and I have headshots from when I was very young, and then nothing came of it. But I always knew that I loved to be in front of the camera. Then I went to college, I got a business degree, and then I somehow ended up like still in front of the camera. So like, I'm just like, I don't know, like I'm a creator.
Yeah.
That's the word. I'm a creator, I'm a storyteller.
The queen of the Dominican niche right now, that's what's happening in social media for you.
Yeah, that's what happened. So it happens on accident. I've been making content for 6 years. 7 years now, and I'll never forget, like at first when I went into business, social media marketing was not a degree, right?
It's a new thing, new world.
It's a new world. So I graduated from college in 2018. I have my years all messed up. Yeah, 2018.
You graduated at some point.
Yeah, in 2018. So when I was in college, I went to school for marketing, and I thought, because I always have something to say. Yeah. I can watch a movie, I can try something, and I always have an opinion. Yeah. So I thought I was going to be in product development. So I went to school for marketing. I started working for the number one beauty company in the world. And then social media started to like really grow and become a thing. And I fell in love and learned how to do makeup through YouTube. So I was like, I told my sister, I'm like, I want to start making videos. I'm going to buy a camera. I'm going to buy a laptop. I'm going to do all these things. She was like, no. She's my mentor. She's like, how about you just start creating, like, and then we'll talk about you investing in equipment and things like that. So I started creating, and then I started networking at L'Oreal as like these roles started opening up for social media. And then when the opportunity came, it was like, oh, hey, like I do create content. Like I do it for myself. So at the time, it was very curated. Like if you think back to the beauty era, like it was a studio like this where the girls would film like very professional cameras. Everything had to be perfect. Yeah. And I was never like that. Yeah. And I never could be like that. And then my content has always been all over the place. Like one day I'm talking about makeup, the next hair, the next something, fitness or something else. And people would always tell me like, pick a niche. And I'm like, I can't pick a niche because I'm not one thing, I'm a lot of things. So it never felt right for me. I'm like, I can't just talk about fitness when I'm not that healthy. Like half the time I'm outside or like, right. Or like, I don't want to just do makeup. Like I'm not out here doing the craziest eye looks. Like it just, and I didn't want to become that person either. I didn't call my attention. So years of that, and I started going viral, honestly, since I started making TikToks 5 years ago during COVID, but it was always like I go viral and then I don't have it drops. I don't have a niche. I don't have something consistent. Then like years later, I'm talking about just 2 years ago, what started sticking was that I'm Dominican. And I'm like, that makes so much sense
you
because
found your people.
I found my people because I'm within all these things that I am, at the end of the day, I'm still Dominican. Yeah. So that's how the niche found me. Like with posting all the things that I'm doing, whether I'm at the gym, this, that, it could be the music that I'm listening to or this and the third, like it always comes back to me being Dominican.
And Dominicans love to support Dominicans. Like there's just something, if you see a person that's like you, it's like, oh, de lo mío, de una vez.
Yeah.
That's the biggest world for that. So have you felt that? Have you felt the support from the Dominican community?
1000%. Like I could make videos about saying, my mom did this and it'll flop, but I'll say my Dominican mom did this and they'll go viral.
That's the key word.
Yeah, so to be honest, I feel like a lot of Dominicans like to see Dominicans win and support other Dominicans, and they love to see their culture being celebrated and shown so beautifully. So I feel like that's definitely what has helped me grow.
Yeah, we did an event actually called the Pasaporte. I don't know if you heard of it, but the next year they're trying to be even bigger. People don't know. We'll talk about that later, but. They brought a lot of people that were in many industries, so the beauty industry, but the music industry. I was there. We actually shot a live podcast episode, which I don't know when that's going to come out because they haven't sent it to me yet. But it was really dope because it's Latinos in general, but it was very densely Dominican populated. We saw this beauty of us just kind of celebrating these achievements, these things that we've been into, these things that we've done, and I think that's one of the dopest things. So the thing that's the que está pegado, la Casa de Alofoke, that's like everyone's thing. I'm just genuinely curious, like how was that experience for you? Like how did you end up there? What were the relationships you made? I was watching some of the stuff that you were posting. I'm like, this is dope because I'll be completely candid. I didn't watch much of it. All of my friends in my entire circle, diciéndome, contándome about what's happening, and I'm just like, it looks entertaining, but to be running 24 hours, there has to be something. So how did you end up there? Like, what's that story?
Yeah, and before we get into that, I forgot something about like the Dominican niche. Yeah. If that's okay, if we go back to that. So I really do think like when you're in the moment and you're like, why am I going through this? What is this? Like you don't understand the process, but it all comes to the bigger picture. Like I told you, like I've been trying to be in front of the camera since I was in the 3rd grade. I've been doing content for 6 years and nothing stuck. I went corporate, but all that brought me to this point right now. So for example, I was born and raised in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, and we were at a comedy show.
Where all the Dominicans are.
Exactly. We were at a comedy show, and Jay Ramirez was like,
Jay,
I swear. Oh, he's the best. Yeah. He was like, I swear to God, there's a private tunnel that no one talks about that goes from Cibao straight to Perth Amboy. Literally, all the Dominicans are there. So I never experienced culture shock. Then I went to college, and although I was dorming, my family's huge, and I was dorming with my cousin. I was having lunch with my sister. I was working with all my cousins. Like, we are a pack. Like, we were working at the tech center. It was 5 cousins working at the tech center. We were all in Montclair State together. We were all, so I never was like out of my Dominican like bubble. Yeah. Then I went to L'Oreal. I went to work, and I'm like, wait. So you guys, although it was extremely uncomfortable, that big culture shock when, we're sitting at dinner tables and they're like, oh, this summer I'm going to Montauk, or, like my parents' vacation home. I'm like, you have 2 mansions, not just one? Like, you know what I mean?
You're living a good life.
Yeah, but then something about me, I never felt like less than for not having those things. I just always knew I was different, but I was so excited to talk about it. And that's where my Dominican content started to come from, because they'd be like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, going on vacation with 40 people. They're like, with 40 people? Or like, oh yeah, like a baptism with 90 people. Yeah. Like that's where it got inspired. Where I'm like,
so connected, so tight.
So connected, so tight. And that's where I realized like it's so different. Not everybody lives this life. Yeah. Like, let me talk about how unique these experiences are. Yeah. And that's where I think like the content was inspired from.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the best, most genuine content, your actual life.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a tío that drinks way too much and gives money out. Like I feel like that's always related to the Dominican family. But that's why people connect with you. That's why they're looking for those things, because again, it's like, oh, that's my uncle. That's the same thing. What is the ultimate goal for you there?
In my content?
In your content, like social media wise.
The ultimate goal, I have a few goals. But
like, do you want this to be like your career? Well, obviously, it's your career already because of work. But I mean, like personal, like.
Yeah, I mean, I always say like I would love to be a Bretman Rock. I don't know if you follow Bretman Rock.
I don't, but I've heard.
You've heard of him?
Yeah.
Bretman does whatever Bretman wants. Like, you know, he started from the very first days of YouTube when all the influencers moved to LA and he stood in Hawaii with his family. Yeah. He never changed his way. And one day Bretman is like running around with chickens or at the gym or eating a fruit. And the next day he's like on a runway, you know, at the VMAs or something. And like, whatever Bretman, like he doesn't have to confine to like a certain style of content or do what other people are doing. Like people, you know, she's just him all the time. All around. So I love the not having the pressure of like having to do a certain thing because that's not me. I'm not the same person every day. Like one day I'm committed to like running a marathon. The next day work is consuming me. The following day I'm exaggerating with the days, but there's different moments in my life and every day looks different. Every week looks different.
The duality of the places you live in.
And I don't want it to feel forced. I don't want to have to think about it too much. Like, so I just want my content to flow with my life. Yeah.
I mean, that's how it should be, right? It should flow from the natural. Because if anything is forced, people see it. If it's disingenuine, you can see through that reality.
Yeah. So I would also love to give back. Like, I see a lot of content about like, because also my growth is coming from my culture and I would love to pour back into it. Like I've seen videos of like people that build homes for like the less fortunate or like I saw a video of this guy who did a barbershop for a kid that was cutting hair. That was awesome. Like I would love to do stuff like that.
To pour back into the people, especially in DR where it's like super needed.
Yeah, I mean, I drive around and it's like, wow, it's so crazy because how come I get to live this life and you have to live that one? And your life could change within a day and I would love to be able to like give that to people. Be the change.
And I mean, that's also like one of those benefits, to call it a benefit, is to when you have a platform or stage and people recognize you and know you, you're able to kind of coordinate how people do things. So if your goal is to help people because you have that relationship or that connection with these people, it's easier for you to bring people together. Looking at those things, we were mentioning how you were connected and how you went to the La Casa de Alofoke and all that stuff. So is this the avenue that took you there? Like your social media stuff? Did somebody like tell you, hey, be a part of this? Or how'd you end up there?
Yeah, so it just, so I was never really into that much, like the Dominican chisme, like I couldn't keep up. So.
I mean, it sounds fun, but
I just didn't know like about their lives or like who La Insuperables, like beefing with and the Demposeros, even though I really like the music and the culture, like the chisme just like, I just couldn't keep up. Then, like I said, it was very similar to Love Island where like I wasn't watching, but it was all over social media that it gets to the point where it's like, all right.
Or like Big Brother, like the one that's here, that's what they're doing because they're watching them 24/7.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
So Big Brother, they have the American and the European one, but it's the same thing. It's the same concept. They're just but they're just not influencers. It's just regular people in a house, and the cameras never stop. So that's kind of the same premise.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about that. I've heard about like La Casa de los Famosos and like other Spanish one. I know Kai Cenat does 30-day live streams, but different because it's not like a bunch of different people. But I guess the other one, I'm gonna have to check it out. But it became to the point where everyone was watching it. And I'm like, am I missing out? Like, I want to talk about it. Like, I do like, pop culture and things like that. So everyone, and for the first time, I feel like more Americans were involved, where it's like a lot of the people that, are in my circle, we're watching too. So I started watching and I started making videos just like I do about anything else. And then like I said, we got really into it. And Love Island was doing watch parties. I don't know if not watch parties, but like people, so.
They had bars. I've seen
bars.
That. They literally had bars with people watching Love Island. I'm like, Lee Joe.
Yes.
I still don't know who won, but I just know that other girl's like from New York or something.
Yes, that's exactly where the inspiration came from. So at one point I was talking about the business with the business by my house, telling them like, what if we do a Dominican watch party, right, of Love Island, where it's like, because you know how they were saying like the bars, they were like American, but I'm like, if in between the commercials there's like Dembo playing, like that will go viral. I'm just thinking like content, like, that would be fun too, I could host it, whatever. Nunca se dio because I was sick, whatever. Then my sister, when La Casa de Alofoke and we were all watching it, she was like, wait, but Love Island had watch parties. Why don't we do that at the salon for La Casa de Alofoke? It was my sister's idea. So, because the salon had gone viral before. I had made a video of just saying like Dominican salons because they have karaoke. My sister's husband's family has like live DJ, blah, blah, blah. Like, so they had gone viral before.
A literal party getting your hair done.
Yes. So Michelle was like, oh my God, we should do it at the salon. Like, that's such a good idea. Everybody's watching anyway. And she has these parties anyway.
Yeah.
Like, her sister-in-law. So we did the video and Santiago reposted it. I come to find out that my cousin's this is how you know we're Dominican. So many people to keep track of. Yeah. My cousin's cousin-in-law used to work with him back in the day. And he was like, oh, shoot, this is so cool. Like, a team, a group of people in New Jersey made this video, blah, blah, blah. So then Santiago had reposted it. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool, blah, blah, blah. Then I made another video, not thinking anything of it. Because, like I said, I've been going viral for 6 years. Nothing ever comes of it. So I don't have these expectations, but I'm patient. I just love what I do. And I'm like, it still got me a career doing this full time. Like, so every time something goes viral, I'm like, okay, like nothing's gonna happen.
Anticipate it,
Nothing. I don't even look if I grew followers because I'm just like, I'm used to this. I had 11,000 followers 6 years later. You know what I mean? Still now, I don't have a big platform. So then I made Santiago's a marketing genius because I'm like, listen, I've been making content for 6 years. I also make content professionally. Like, it's definitely difficult to get people's attention. And he had people, I mean, my Uber driver, she was driving me and she was watching La Casa while looking at the GPS. My sister's friends were at a wedding and they're like, at the wedding, like, hi, Pleito. We're watching it at the salon. Like, I'm like seeing this and I'm like.
Marketing genius
To get people hooked. You know, whether it's controversial or not, whatever the case may be, you have people tuned in around the clock. You know? So I made that video and he reached out to the guy and he was like, give her my number. So I'm like, I'm like, Santiago wants my number. I literally was like, mommy, Santiago wants my number. I was like shaking. And then my sister was like, don't worry. Like, talking to him is like talking to anyone else, like blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So I was like so excited. So he goes to me. Another thing that's different about Dominicans versus Americans, like someone at Santiago's reach wouldn't be so accessible in America. I feel like, you know, I can't just text DJ Khaled or something. I mean, I'm not comparing like apples to apples, but I'm just thinking like music, you know.
In the industries.
Someone that's very big in the Dominican Republic. These people are like so reachable. So I was like shocked. But something that he does is that he'll be like, he told me that day, like, oh, I'm in New York, let's meet up. And I'm like, to talk. And I'm like, okay, let's meet up. So he overpromises, and then at first I'm like, oh, we're gonna meet up, whatever. Never happens. It left me on read afterwards, and I'm like, okay. So then I was like, oh, I have an idea. Other people from his team started following me from that video. Like I met his music producer, his like video production guy. I forget his title, but he does like all his music videos. Like he films and edits them. And he hit me up. He was like, oh, I can make this introduction happen, blah, blah, blah. Like I just had people wanting to make it happen for me. Like it was wild. I told my boyfriend, I'm like, hey, I want to go film behind the scenes at La Casa de Alofoke. And then he was like, I was like, I think I'm gonna text his production guy. And he was like, you have Santiago's number, just text him. I was like, hey, you're right.
Yeah, just jump the gun. Go right to the source.
Go right to the source. And he also has a video on his Instagram where it's like, you guys, I would love to help as many people as possible, but I just don't have the bandwidth to help as many people as I want. But he was like, something that you have to do if you're trying to make it like, life is for, I forget his exact words, but like, la vida es para el que no se rinde. He's like, you have to break windows, you have to be persistent, you have to blah, blah. So I was like, I'm gonna use his exact words. I was like, Santiago, la vida es para que no se rinde. I want to go to La Casa de Alofoke and film behind the scenes. He was like, okay, bang, that's it. It was that simple. I was like, okay, be there Friday. This was this past Thursday. He was like, okay, see you Friday. That's it. And that's how it happened.
That's so awesome. And it's awesome. It's more awesome that you took that chance to actually, you know, dive into that because again, it makes sense. I mean, para el que no se rinde, because if you're actually going to make the effort to be a part of something, and there's that old saying in English, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If you can't complain that you're not doing something or being in places, if you're not willing to be vocal about it, if you're not willing to show up for it, and that's what you're doing, you're showing up. Did you make any other connections with those people there or any relationships? Because that's at the end of the day, all things that we do is based on relationships. So how was it meeting the people there?
Oh my God, his team was the kindest group of people I have ever met. And, you know, he's very rough around the edges. Like he goes into La Casa and he starts ripping everyone. He does it on the radio. But the way I felt the energy from his team, they were very cool, calm, and collective. And I feel like if he was that, like,
actually like that to them,
they would have been more on edge. Like, everybody was kikiri king, laughing, very like lax. They treated me with so much respect and so much kindness. I met his the moment I walked in, I got connected to his like main producer, which is like his right hand man. And every time he talks about his like success, he says we, and he starts naming everyone that does everything, because he never says just like I. And so Manauri is like his right-hand man when it comes to production, one of them. And he was like, what do you need? How can I help you? Also, my cousin's cousin-in-law.
Everyone's related.
Yeah, everyone's related. Who doesn't work with them anymore, but worked with them back in the day, was like definitely helping me navigate, because I'm not used to that world. And they were like, what do you need? How can we help you? Here's the production room. By the way, she's going to be coming in here, making videos. She has questions, answer them, blah, blah, blah. Like, treated me with so much respect, and like they didn't owe me anything. Literally like anyone else that walked in through that door. Yeah,
I mean, they were probably grateful for the things that you created, because you also like, promoting them and helping that. But it's just the reality that good people beget good people. They want to be around people like that.
Yeah, they were so kind to me, so respectful, just like anyone else that walked in through that door. Like any celebrity that walked into that door, that's how they treated me. And I built a lot of relationships. Like, I have Manauri's number now. Santiago's wife followed me. Other people that he works with followed me. And they were commenting on my post, reposting it, sharing it. So yeah, and then the first night that I went, I thought that I was gonna record like behind the scenes of, how they get ready, when things like happen, what do they do? And it was the most quiet night you could ever imagine. There was no fiesta, there was no big drama.
So they knew you were coming, so they had to behave.
Right. So I'm like, oh shoot, like, what is this content even gonna be? So I was like nervous, but I did a few like mini mics, which I never interview people. It was kind of like my cousin's cousin-in-law, like, ve, pregúntale cuánta pregunta Manauri. Mira, esa es la fotógrafa de, pregunta a ella. And I'm like, like, like I didn't come prepared to do questions, but I'm glad I did, because that's like mainly the content that I had. And then once I put the video together, everything looked good. But me and my boyfriend were literally there like crickets, awkward. Like like so awkward.
You want to be a part of the party?
Part of the party, but they're working, they're live and they're just like running the show, and I'm sitting there like, so
people don't think about that. Like, the behind the scenes is people actually doing the job.
Yeah.
All the audio and the camera stuff is happening. It's tough.
So I felt extremely uncomfortable, not because of them, but because it's definitely out of my comfort zone. But you don't grow in your comfort zone. So but they were so helpful. But I just felt like I was kind of like in the way, even though I wasn't. But they're working, they're focused.
Yeah,
and things like
it's not your first thought to think, oh, I'm here for this.
Yeah.
They're actually doing something.
And my content definitely didn't go how I had planned. Like, it was different, but. Oh, and what I was going to say about his team, you see my brain just be all over the place. So there was no fiesta, no big drama. And I was like, oh, well, there's a fiesta with Omega on Sunday. Can I come back? And he was like, claro. And that's...
So you're already here? Yeah, you're one of us?
Yep.
So that I mean, obviously this more solidifies the niche that found you, because that's what that is, a Dominican niche. How do you see yourself like progressing in that? What do you think is next in this niche for you?
I have no idea.
Okay. It's a good thing to be able to discover.
Yeah, I'm flexible. I'm going to I always want to make content that feels good.
Well, are you ever going to go back to that makeup stuff that you were going to do with a camera, and you're going to invest in that world?
I feel like I've been doing this kind of content, like always, like just talking about my family and things like that. But like, I'll do like, get ready with me for my sister's Dominican baby shower, or like, just like put a twist, the Dominican twist. I'll be listening to Dembo while I'm doing my makeup, or like, talking about makeup as I'm going somewhere that has to do with like my life. Yeah. So,
not to that, I'm sure it doesn't conflate, but how do you mix this with your regular job? Like, do they have any issues with what you do, or do they put, I know corporate, they put restraints. Like, even us, we don't have labels for specific reasons. I realize there are labels in this room. I won't point them out, but I didn't realize it till just now. So it doesn't count. But I know like corporate stuff, they kind of, not that they limit you, but they kind of want to know what you're doing. How do you mix these two worlds?
I feel like that's the best thing that could have ever happened to me, working in corporate, because I protect myself so much more. Like, like I think sometimes you forget like how much power your words have, or how much you could hurt someone.
How much stuff stays on social media.
So I'm very considerate of what I post and what I don't post. I try to show the best version of myself. You know what I mean? Not like I mean, I go on there with no makeup, my hair not brushed and all that stuff. But like, I have this like thing where yo no quiero hablar mal de la gente. Like on social media, even if I'm talking about a show, I'll be like, oh, this is what they said on the show, but I'm not gonna be like talking bad about them or dragging them, you know? And I feel like a lot of that has to do with my job. I don't share my political opinions, things like that, because you don't know what other people may think or feel. So
not only that, you alienate people. That's the last thing you want to do, especially when you're trying to reach people.
Exactly. And I feel like I have this rule where it's like, if I don't feel comfortable my mom seeing this, then it shouldn't go on social media. And that's how, like, I feel like if I feel comfortable my mom seeing this, then I hope my job doesn't have a problem with it. Yo no ando haciendo locura on the internet. And when it comes to like other beauty products, I'm not allowed to like take sponsorships with other beauty brands, but there's so much more out there. There's these microphones, there's cameras, there's fitness, there's health, there's wealth, there's look, La Casa de Alofoke, that ended up happening. Like, you know, if one time I was invited to the CoverGirl studio to just make content, and like I can't go because it's like that's a direct competitor. But I'm like, I don't feel like I'm missing out because I can't do beauty. If anything, I feel like it has taught me how to protect myself and how to only show like, you know, good things.
It's PR training.
It's PR training that I wouldn't have known otherwise.
I mean, obviously in this world that I'm in, there's very specifics. Because I also do ministry stuff. So I do like my church stuff where I preach and I travel. And it's not that I do it not to be scandalized or anything like that, but it's the sense of like, okay, well, I wouldn't want this to be an issue, and I wouldn't want to lead anyone down something wrong. And also, you don't want to look dumb. Like, you don't want to make yourself a hot mess. So just looking at those things, like where you are, what you're doing career-wise, what you're doing social media-wise, what for you, and if I had to ask this question, right, because the podcast is called Made for This Mountain, what for you have you seen as a mountain? So a mountain is like a challenge, something that is in front of us that looks like we can't compete with, we can't defeat, we can't beat. In your life, what has been a mountain for you?
Like just one of like the hardest moments in my life.
Yeah, something you feel like, or even something that you're struggling with now, but something that you felt like became a difficulty. Yeah,
I have two moments, and I'm currently living one right now. This is one of them. But I think the very, very first time that I consider myself to be a very happy person. I'm free-spirited. I'm like, woo, like nothing's that serious. Life is just great. I'm just so happy all the time. And I was in a relationship since I was a freshman in high school up until like 27 years old. So I had never really dated. I had never been around, I had never dated. And then also that's when I started to get into influencer marketing and being in situations outside of my family, traveling with people that weren't my family, going to dinners, doing things, because I had never even had friends. Like my family was so big that like if we had one friend, we sucked them, or we sucked them into our family. Like my best friend, I met her senior year in high school. 1 year later, she's been dating my cousin. She started dating my cousin.
She's married into the family.
She's married into the family. She had a son. He has my grandfather's last name. Like my friends get sucked into my world. You know what I mean? So I had never like experienced, I would say, the real world. So I became single for the first time. I got into social media marketing, and I moved out and bought my house for the very first time, all at the same time. And I literally felt like in the movie Barbie, where she went to the real world. And did you watch the movie?
I did.
And she was like, this hurts so bad. Like, why is everybody so mean? I thought everybody was like my family, and I just expected that from people. And I never knew how to read vibes. I never knew that people may be kind, but not because they're actually being kind, but because they have like an alternative, motive. So between dating men for the first time and seeing how they're horrible.
Yeah, most guys are pretty rough.
Yeah, like I just couldn't believe how hurt I was from all of that. And even like when I moved out for the first time, my sister was like, where are your bills? Like I bought my house and I moved in, I did the construction, blah, blah. And she's like, where are your bills? And I was like, what bills? Like, and she was like,
someone pays for that.
That's she was like, your water, electric. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
The lights just stay on.
Right. And she was like, Geselle, this house is under your name. There's stuff coming. and I hadn't checked the mail in 4 months, but because I hadn't moved in, it was like since I bought it, and then it was under construction, and then I moved in like 3-4 months later.
Wow.
And I go to my mailbox and it's a stack like this.
Just bills.
Of just bills and letters and from the city, the government, the people that want their money, everybody. And I put the pile on my bed and I start opening it one by one with my sister, and I just start sobbing. And she starts crying with me, and she's like, "You're gonna figure it out." And I was like, "How?" She's like, "You just will. You can. You're gonna do this." And I then was like, this is so much money. Like I underestimated how much like it was gonna cost for me to move into my house. And she's like, okay, so she grabs this notebook, and it just happens to be like a TikTok notebook, which I didn't know. And she starts writing everything that I need to pay and how I'm gonna manage my finances. And at the end of the month, because I get paid once a month through my job, which is already crazy, I had $100 to spare after all my bills. And
we all need a sister like yours, because
and I start crying again, and she's like, "You're just gonna figure it out. Like, trust me, like you will." And I'm telling you, God bless me. I wasn't living check by check. I was living miracle by miracle. Yeah. Like money was falling out of the sky. Like I'd get like a modeling gig. I hadn't modeled ever. Rainbow hit me up to go model. And that, I remember that trip, I was on a family vacation. I got there with negative $300, and I had to give them a wedding gift, and I was going to Disney with my family and all these things. And I got $1,000 deposited into my account. And then like, it just kept things happening like that. Like miracle, my taxes will come in, and it was like 3 times the amount I thought. And that like got me to 4 months. And then like another, God never left my side. Yeah. And I just figured it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the benefit of having a sister like that, because she sat down with you and said, listen, you're going to figure this out, because she believed in you, even though you couldn't see the situation itself.
Yeah. And that sadness lasted like a year and a half. And it was to a point where I would cry. Like I cried every day for 4 months. And it was from like January to around April. And I would be like, God, like, devuélveme mi alegría. Like, I don't even recognize, like, my happy self anymore, even though I'd go in front of the camera and I'd smile and still create my content and do all these things. But, like, I just knew that, like, I was just crying every day and I wasn't happy. And I woke up one day and I was like, I want to go to church. Yeah. Like, it had been a long time since I had been back, and I started going to church. And then my grandma also came to me in my dream, who had passed away. And she told me, she was like, she told me, she was like, yo sé que tú estás sufriendo, yo no me he ido de tu lado, but chin up high, baby, like, la vida es dura, la vida es fuerte. And from that day, like, I just became happy. And I'll never forget, like, 2 months after that moment, or a month after that moment, I was dancing. I put up the window. You don't even realize sometimes the things that you do when you're depressed, right? You sit in the darkness, you don't listen to music, you're not dancing. And I put out, I see the sun shining into my office. I put up the window, I put on music, and I started dancing. And in that moment, I started crying. And I was like, I'm back. I'm back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that was a mountain, and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And for the first time, I told my sister, like, I see why. Not that I was suicidal. I never was.
You understand why people would go through those
situations. I understand why people can go through those situations, because sometimes it is so much easier to just end it than to have to put in the work to get yourself out, because you don't see the day that you're going to feel like, you don't even know what it feels like. Like, you don't even think you could feel happiness again, you know?
And then it hits you.
The
sun hits you and you start dancing.
Yeah, and it's all that work that you put in, right? That you don't even, it's doing the little things that add up to the big things. Still doing your hair, still going to see your family even when you don't want to. Like, I remember my cousins from Pennsylvania, they're our favorite. Like, when those girls come, so we grew up all in the same house. And then when they were like, I'm the baby, so I'm like 10 years younger than them. Yeah. And when they were like in their teen years, or early 20s, they moved to Pennsylvania. But they always come multiple times a year to Jersey, and we call it our sisters weekend. And we always have we have our annual sister pajama day and everything like that. And even for that, I couldn't get out of bed. And my sister was like, come on, Geselle, like, we don't want to put any pressure, but like, try to like get out of bed. And so like, and those are the moments that even when you don't feel like it, you're still showing up. Yeah. You're still you're like, I don't want to see my mom. I don't want to see my family. Like, I just want to hide under my bed. But you get up, you put on your little makeup, and if you keep working towards it, like, eventually you'll get back to yourself. Like, do the things that bring you joy, even when they're not making you happy. Still going to the gym. Like, I'll never forget, there was a lady rubbing my back in the sauna. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm gonna be like,
the sauna is a little crazy.
Yeah, no, literally. I'd walk out the gym and I'd get in my car and I start crying, like, but still doing those things that I'll go to a friend's house. After I'm laughing, giggling with them, I'm in the car, I'm crying. After, a lot of people don't know that, but it's just like doing those little things. That's like how you're climbing through the mountain, like still showing up to the things that bring you joy even when they're not.
Yeah. There's a saying that says, don't dress like what you're going through. So if you're struggling, don't let yourself become that thing. Don't hide under it. Don't make yourself that, because that's what people do.
But it's so hard to show up.
It is so hard. But that's the difference between people that stay under it and the people that get over it. Is the people that, if you have to pull yourself by your boots and you're going to show up, you're going to show up. And that's going to be the difference. Because here you are today doing the things that you wanted to do, the things you were dreaming of. But I'm sure in that point in time, this wouldn't even be a vision. This wouldn't be a thought. It'd just be how. But you're here. This is the beauty of it. So speaking of being here, thank you for being here on this podcast. Thank you for being on this episode. If last remarks, if there's something that you needed the world to know about you, I don't know about the world because we do pretty good. Numbers are all right, but maybe not the whole world. But if you needed people to know something about you, what would you need them to know?
I mean, I wouldn't want to even share something about me. I would mainly want to say, like, I don't have it all figured out, but if it's a piece of advice that I could give someone is to keep showing up, keep trying, keep doing the things that make you uncomfortable. Like, every time that I showed up somewhere, it's when I haven't felt ready. Even when I told you, like, when I started making the content, I told my sister I wanted all that equipment, and she was like, no, do it with what you have. You know what I mean? If I waited to the moment to be ready for La Casa de Alofoke, I would have never made my way there. I would have been like, well, I don't know that much. Like I just started getting into the Spanish media. I'm like, I don't know that much about him. I don't know that much about his business or the people that are there or anything like that. Like, I'm just, getting into it right now, but I still showed up. And even when I was able to go back 2 days later, I was so like worked up still from like the first time that I had to do it. I'm like, maybe I should just like hide and not show up. You know what I mean? It's easier to do that, but I'm like, no, I'm still gonna go. And then I ended up getting like really good content, and like everything that I do, even when I started my role in social media and content, like I used to go to my sister's house crying because I didn't know how to do certain things that were asked of me. And I just would go to her before I tell them like I can't do it, and she'd help me figure it out. This marathon training, like it's been so difficult.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
It's been so difficult. I underestimated how hard it was going to be. And like, I'm still showing up even though I'm not a runner or an athlete like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying. So just keep doing the most, trying your best every day. And your best every day does not look the same. Like, I've seen posts that are like, consistency looks like one day your cup is this full and one day it's that good, that full. One day you're like doing lifting super heavy weights at the gym, and the next you can't even walk on the treadmill the next week. Like, every day looks different, but as long as it's your best,
you're showing up.
You're showing up. Yeah. And just keep showing up.
Yeah. Thank you for those words, and just thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you guys.